It's Brent Abel back here with you on the answer segment to What's the Right Shot, episode number 18. And what we saw in the question part was that Bill hits a nice cross-court return to serve, and we see his partner Paul move. And I asked you right here, what do you think's the right shot? We had most of you were saying down the middle. Between the two players. A few of you said, go ahead, carve it back over here. And, my word of caution on that is that if you don't hit a winner now, you've got both players really, for all intents and purposes, on this side of the court, and this court's wide open. So you have to hit a winner if you carve it back over here. Several of you said, let's play it over here to this corner, which, again, if you don't hit a winner, it's not as bad because you've got the ball on this side over here, again, with both players on this side. So that probably works out a little bit better. And then a lot of you said, just play it down here to Brian's feet. And I thought that was a good choice as well. Let me show you, let's kind of back this up. And I really want to kind of really pick apart this point because there's so many great things to look at here. Number one, as I told you before, Phil's already missed his first serve. This is his second serve. So, assuming that, if I'm this player here and you're my partner and we know it's a second serve and we can tell by where Bill really steps up. I mean, he's halfway between the baseline and the service line to receive this. I got to believe that if this is you and I'm your partner, that you're going to be handling the serve. And so I don't have any need to be back here not only behind the service line, but even on top of the service line. I don't need to help you with the call. I don't need to, as this ball bounces, I don't really need to be sitting here watching this for you to help you. And secondly, I don't need to be here on the second serve, return to serve, in terms of trying to defend in case Brian poaches. If Brian poaches, whether I'm here or whether I'm further up inside the service line, it doesn't give me any advantage to be able to really defend against that poach. So the point I want to make here is that we know it's a second serve. What I would rather be doing, you're here as my partner, I'd rather be assuming that you're going to be able to handle this second serve, and I want to be up inside. I want to be up inside, just kind of like you're serving, knowing that you're going to be handling this ball going cross court. And by me being up here inside the service line, I don't have to be way up halfway, but maybe in the back third of the area in here. I'm basically showing you the confidence that you're going to be able to handle it cross court. Plus, I'm telling the server that if I'm standing here, that I'm going to be in a really great position for this second serve, return to serve, if this ball gets down to your feet, which it ends up getting down here. And just because we see Paul now here, I'd much rather send you that signal when you're about to play your second serve that I'm starting here. I'm really going to put the pressure on you, not only to hit a good second serve, but just to let you know that you're going to have to deal with me. And, we may get a few double faults out of that. So that's kind of point number one. The second thing here that I want to take a look at is that these guys have missed the first serve. This is now a great opportunity for me as your partner is to signal you, just like we would do as if you were serving. And I ought to be able to give you a signal behind my back that you can, you here as my partner, the returner, can look at. You ought to be able to look at this signal and say, all right, well, Brent's told me that he's gonna poach. So I now know that all I have to do, my job is just to do what Bill actually does here, get the ball cross court, get it down low to the feet, and now you know that since I've signaled you, I'm going to poach. Well, the other thing too is if we are doing this signal and the server sees this, this is another added layer of pressure that something's up. Either I'm gonna poach or I'm gonna fake poach off of a good low return to serve. So The signal opportunity here for you guys is just huge. And, I'd love to see you do this, especially on second serves, is to signal whether or not you're going to fake or whether you're actually going to poach, and let your partner know that their job is simply just get the ball cross court, get it low, help set me up for either the poach or the fake poach. And when the serving team sees that we're doing this, this really puts a lot of pressure on them. So that's thing number two. Now, the other thing I want to show you is Brian. And what he does here is he sees the ball go cross court, and I want you to look at where his eyes are right now. His eyes are looking back at whatever's developing in this area here. And he wants to kind of see how much of a degree of difficulty this return is going to be for his partner Phil. He wants to see if Phil is going to really kind of struggle with his shot initially. And so he's kind of looking at it out of his peripheral, out of what's going on here. Well, he can really quickly sense that this is going to be tough. So the next thing he does is he looks directly over here at Paul. And not only does he look directly at Paul, but he anticipates a poach. He's completely facing Paul in a neutral position. You can look at his feet right here. You can see that he is bisecting Paul in terms of facing him not only with his head, but with his feet and with his body. And the other thing I want you to look at here is how he's holding his racket in his ready position. This racket is laid back more towards his backhand side. It's not really pointing. Like sometimes we'll see players point the racket directly at a player, and he's not doing that because the chances are that if it's a ball played directly at him, he'd rather be ready in a backhand than sort of in this awkward wrist laid back position that we see sometimes where players will point the racket directly at someone. And so he's got his racket, not only he's got his body set up for the poach, but he's got his racket set up for the poach as well. And what we're going to see here is where Paul ends up playing his shot. Now, what we see is with Paul's movement is that, first of all, because he starts so far back, I don't think there's really much chance of a fake poach at this point in time. If he were to fake now and he were to step out here one step, I think this would be enough of an opportunity that Phil would pick it up and be able to play it up the line where there wouldn't be time for the fake to get out here and come back. So I don't think that Paul realistically has much of a fake poach opportunity. So that now when he decides to go, I think he has to get a little bit stretched out. And we can look at this right here. I mean, he's off balance just enough to where he's not going to be able to have good stroke mechanics where he can get a lot of stick on this. And even if he were to go in the middle, so I've just told you that he's not going in the middle, he's not going to get a lot on it. And what he ends up doing, he ends up instinctively realizing, you know what, I'm slightly off balance here. He's now crossing the center service line, and not only does he not play it in the middle, but he doesn't get the ball down. And he plays it directly at Brian, who with a relatively easy high ball. I mean, this is what, waist high in here? This is nowhere around the knees, nowhere around his feet. And because these guys haven't signaled, Bill doesn't know that he's going to have to cover up. And because Paul has gotten slightly off balance and the instincts have said play it at somebody rather than play it in the middle, he plays a waist-high, relatively easy reflex volley over here to Brian that ends up going back in the middle of the court. So, the takeaways on this are a couple things. Number one, what I really want you guys to think about are what we talked about, second serve. Let's start in the back third of the service box. signal so that your partner knows whether you're going to be faking or whether you're going to be poaching. And if you poach, that this guy, you've got a chance to be able to cover up behind in case we get in this situation where your partner gets stretched out and can't put the ball away. And the other thing is that I want you to think about instinctively not hitting at somebody. I want you instinctively thinking about trying to find open space, whether it's here in the middle of the court or whether it's here on this side of the court, or whether if you guys have signaled that there's a poach on, then yeah, maybe then you can go back into this area if the stroke mechanics work out that way, because you've got your partner covering up over there. But there's really a lot to pick apart in here. I've got another segment coming up here for you where I'm going to bring out our court diagram so I can show you how to practice this. All right, here comes that court diagram video. Okay, the thing I want you to practice on this is really learning how to move in the middle when you poach and really thinking about this target right here. When you're playing, you've got, let's go with the server's partner. You've got a server's partner right here. I mean, in reality, when you play, you've got someone there. And so what we're trying to get away from is that when you move in the middle and you get a ball that you can pick off that's above the top of the net, that you don't always aim for an opponent. I don't know why we do this, but it's instinctive. We seem to always go towards an opponent. And, if you've got a partner who's over here and you're on this side, this wide, or this court is just wide open. So what I really want you to be working on is getting a practice partner. And let's get a basket of balls over on this side of the court. Let's get your practice partner to stand relatively close to where that server would be coming in and playing their transitional shot. And what you're going to do is, we've already decided this is a second serve, so you're not going to be back here in the service line. You're going to start up inside the service line. And what's going to happen, it'll take a few practice feeds from your practice partner to where you guys get the timing right. But what I want you to do is be able to step forward first and then go at a diagonal, rather than starting right here and just going at the diagonal from there. Because I want you to be able to develop the forward step and then a fake and come back, and then also be able to develop that forward step and then a commitment to the diagonal move, so that when you get the feed here from your practice partner, you can work on this target here. I'd work on this target 75% of the time, and then I'd work on this target over here another 25% of the time. I'm telling you, the stroke mechanics as you are moving from your right to left, and if this is a backhand volley, man, this is tough. This is not an easy ball, because you really have to have your shoulders turned so much to be able to get a natural swing path that goes in this direction. And so that's why we're practicing this. We're kind of tinkering with what do you have to do setup-wise, alignment-wise, when the ball is coming from this direction as you're moving over here, to be able to efficiently be able to get that target. But this target ought to be only 25% of the time. You ought to be just wearing out that tee over there on this drill. So get out there, tinker with this drill, make it work, get a basket of balls, blah, 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 and then work it. And I guarantee you, you're going to be so much more efficient when you guys are returning a second serve and you've got your partner, where you've signaled to your partner, you've let them know whether you're going to poach or whether you're going to fake poach. And you guys will work synergistically so much better when you're returning a second serve in doubles. All right? Any questions, any feedback, any comments, right below the video. Have a great day out there. Okay, I have got a new special doubles instruction package for you. And the reason I'm doing this is I'm feeling pretty good. I get to go into a new age group here in just a few weeks, starting January 1st. I get to go into the 65s. And in theory, It may sound kind of goofy, but I'm the youngest guy in there now. At least, a lot of us who were born in 1948, now we get to be the young guys in the 65s for a year. And that's always, kind of inspirational, kind of motivational, maybe train a little bit hard, get a little bit more serious about, practice and that kind of stuff. So I'm feeling good. I'm ready to roll for next year. And in celebration of that, I'm got a nice little doubles instructional package for you. Here, it's going to include 3 of my doubles courses. Number 1, it's the 19 court diagram videos, which I've titled When and Why to Be Where on the Court. And what I do is I take kind of 19 different situations that we face in doubles, and I outline exactly where you and your partner should be during that specific situation. The second one is the Plan B doubles. When you're getting rolled, you ought to do these 5 separate things, and there's sort of 5 specific match play situations where we find ourselves in where we're just getting steamrolled by our opponents. Well, here are 5 things that you need to do that address each one of those five specific match play situations. And then the third part of this package is this interview I did with Pat Blaskauer, who wrote the all-time great doubles book titled The Art of Doubles. And it's the top 10 questions that I asked her, and we discussed the specific answers. And it's really been a very, very popular course that I've got on doubles. This would normally retail for $111, but if you pick up this package by Sunday night, December 9th, I'm going to give it to you for $37. But you got to get on this before Sunday night at midnight out here, Northern California time, this Sunday, December 9th. So right below the video, choose option 1 or option number 2 and enter your credit card or your PayPal details, and then you'll automatically be sent an email from me, which will have the access information of how you can pick up this great package. All right, looking forward to helping you. Have a great day out there.